Talking about Light on Leeds, what prompted you to start the Light on Leeds podcast?
I want to do something creative, and I want to. My partner at the time had a recording studio, so all of the equipment was there, and I didn't have to know anything technical.
Easy,
which was great. So then it was just the idea of, well, what will I do a podcast about? But I'd spent the last however many years banging on about how great Leeds is to anyone who would listen, or even if they didn't want to listen, just about all the opportunities and how friendly it is and how there's always something great going on. So I just thought, well, it's a no-brainer, and then at least people get to choose whether they listen to me going on about Leeds or not. So yeah,
unless they know you socially, then they just have to listen to it anyway.
They have to listen anyway, yeah. It's just a casual chat, it's just, and I'm just asking the things that I'm genuinely interested in. So yeah, that's always great. At the beginning, I often have guests go, I don't really understand what a podcast is. But then, of course, it got saturated. And then every famous person who ever lived now has a podcast. So I like the fact that it's not as polished as a sort of a radio, because I listen to a lot of radio as well. The whole lockdown thing helped with that, because a lot of TV programs and radio programs were done like this, and so sound quality wasn't amazing. But also, like, if somebody's having a cup of tea and you hear them picking it up and put it down, I think for me personally, it adds to, because it's like you're sort of listening in on a conversation between two people rather than an interview, and I prefer that. You can get emails with all this amazing podcast equipment, and you could have this, and you could have that. And, I know people who will like create like a big box to put the head in and stuff so that there's no echo and stuff like that. I mean, mine's literally, I put a pillow behind my laptop and a pop mic over my laptop.
What would be your perfect day out in Leeds?
I was thinking, it's very difficult. But I think it would have to start, it's going to be quite food and beer oriented, but it'd have to start with either breakfast at either the Tatley or Riveresque, both of which would be on my journey into town on the dreaded bus. And then I think it would have to be, I always feel like you haven't even been to Leeds if you've not visited Kirkgate Market that day. Like, you can't really say you've been to Leeds, so it'd have to definitely be a walk around there. There's usually great things going on, so that would have to be part of it. And then I suppose it would either have to be, Slung Low do these amazing classes, so you can go to all sorts of great, like, Halloween makeup or learning to cook. So it'd have to be a course at Slung Low, and then go and see a show at one of the, I mean, we're so lucky, there's so many great places to see performances. So I'd have to go and see something amazing. And then it would have to be a beer and white locks, because it's just like being in a Sherlock Holmes novel when you're down that alley. I think it's lovely.
I've not been, I will have to go.
Oh my goodness, I think it gets touted as the oldest pub in Leeds, but it's actually not. Like, if you were on QI, I think you'd get the flashing thing, because I'm pretty sure somebody's argued with me about that at some point. And then for the evening meal, I would have to go to Chow Bella on Dock Street. I love that place. It's been there a long, long time, but I don't think anyone who comes to visit me in Leeds, I always take them there. It's brilliant.
You always guarantee that it's good.
And then a pint at the Adelphi on the way home.